Hey everybody, it's Bus with Battles with Bus number 630. Today we'll be doing battle with the Ranger and Backpack battles. And so another day, another battle, another exciting time with the Ranger. Let's hit that new game button, see what turns up. And a bunch of garbage, right? Bunch of just shit that nobody wants. This is a pretty rough opener, but I'm curious, like, I mean, if this hammer was on sale, I would go for it. But you see the hammer in the piggy bank, and you try to make the best of the world. But I can't take the hammer. I hate it so much. So let's take the stone, take the whetstone, take a roll, see if we get anything good out of here. A fairly weak set again, but just gotta make the best out of this bad start. And so the thing that I say with this is we probably have to take the wooden sword. We need to have two attacky style of weapons here at the beginning, or we're just going to automatically lose to everything. Otherwise, I'm fine to pick up the wooden buckler and then put a lock on the lucky clover. The second lucky clover does open up a lot of interesting builds centered around carrots. Right, the thing with carrot is it sucks if you don't have the four clovers. Just having it as a way to remove a debuff isn't really good enough, but having it generate a couple of empowered over the course of a battle is huge. And then it does branch out into some nice builds, being especially strong with the Thorn Bloom, but then also doing well in any kind of build that would also want a hero longsword. And so we'll lock it in, see if that comes to fruition here. But otherwise, garbage start between hammers and customer cards, just a bunch of nonsense that, that nobody wants. So I'm pretty certain we lose this one. This guy has like all the highlights of our build, but none of the bad parts, right? Starting off with double stone, whetstone, and a bow is quite good, but also getting the healing herbs and the banana. It's just everything you want out of a start. Very powerful from our mana burn there. But hopefully we can turn this around real quick. We've got a bow, we've got a lucky clover in the shop. I'm very excited to pick up both of these. It's okay to just go ahead and sell off this sword. We don't really need it at this point. Don't want to have multiple copies of it anyways. And then we should still have the space for the banana to fit in here. We might have to pull the stone out to make this work, but we've got our Fortuna's Hope building. Our stone still unlock. Okay, reasonable enough. Yeah, I think one of the big things I've really grown to like over the course of this past patch is I go really heavy for stones. Not a whole bunch of them, but the bag of stones along with two stones is quite strong with all of these ranger builds. If you have a steel goobert, it's a nice scaling attack that you get there. If we end up doing something with carrots and these Fortuna's hopes that we have here, getting the empowered makes the stones a lot better. And so lots of interesting pathing that you can get out of these things if they turn up. But let's see, what are we going to do here? Want the additional stone, most certainly. Definitely want the fanny pack. We've only got $7 left within this shop, so I guess we can pick up a walrus tusk. It's like the things this game haven't panned out super successfully. This has been a bit of a bummer round as we get stuck with this 3 gold left over here. I'm curious if we shouldn't hang on to the healing herbs. I do really like adding healing herbs into the mix. It's just, I feel like very underrated as far as a sustain based item goes, but we need to start just like high rolling a little bit or something, right? We're gonna keep getting smashed and smashed and smashed, and so we need just something to go right. And I don't feel like taking the healing herbs is it. But this guy's build sucks, so we should be good here, right? Like, this is not to trash on the opponent too much here, as it seems like we'll probably come out here and just lose anyways. But like, I feel like this is what the developers' idea is behind in making this star amulet, whatever this thing is called, the Star of Courage, is that it's supposed to make it easier on you as you go out and try these other classes. And so as you get the random class and you may not be as familiar with it, right? We've played Ranger almost exclusively for the past month and still don't feel spectacular with it. And so it is nice to get some kind of, encouragement to go play the other classes. But at the top end of the game, everyone should just be good enough with all the classes anyways to where getting this bonus is actually, exceptionally strong. And I really just hate seeing this in the games. Like, if you want to put it in the game, put it in unranked, right? Don't put it in ranked. But just old man Bust out here boomering on about what the boomering on about what the kids are doing these days. And so I'm sure you young folks out there just say, shut the fuck up, Bust. Go boom somewhere else. Complain about your lawn or something. Anywho, let's see what we can do here. And so there is a shielded, which is kind of fine. I'm not certain which of these is better. Like, if we're going to be pursuing a Goobert, then I want the spicy banana. The spicy banana activations every time you use stamina help you pop off with the Goobert activation, so it's quite strong there. It's just not that great right now, and so if we don't end up going towards the Gooberts, then we would just rather have Shielded. Shielded is fairly strong here in the early game. It's quite strong if we get a Moon Shield, but it's just off base with a lot of the Ranger-based builds. And so if we end up with some kind of OTK build, it's not that great. But the slower kind of pet-heavy sustain builds do enjoy having Shielded in them. And so I think the big decision we have to end up making here is, while we do want to pursue like a hero sword style of build, this seems like another game to where it's not really coming together. What I think that we're going to need to do here is probably push towards a Goobert. And like I think that if we go towards, say, like just the hero sword off of one more whetstone and make a Goobert and then have the spicy banana with it, I think that should be enough to help carry us along here a bit. And so again, kind of like with the shielded, it just doesn't do enough to help us win now. Like, we can't be generating these like large late game style of plans when we're just getting beat up in all of these early rounds. But got a carrot here that should help us out a little bit with the Fortuna's Hope doing a bit of work. All this other stuff in here is garbage. Let's take a roll. Adding in the bag seems reasonable. Let's take one more roll, see if something cheap turns up, something useful, something helpful. Of course not. It would have been a perfect place for a bag of stones to turn up, or a whetstone, but not the case. I'm curious here if we want to lock this bag. Like, I feel like we need to roll one more time. There's not a ton of stuff that we could actually get, but rolling now as we're looking to find commons, right? We really need to find a whetstone. It's just going to get harder and harder and harder to find them. And so I think we want to take a roll here, see if we can't get anything good to turn up. We didn't. We can at least afford the garlic, but just need to hit on one of these rolls sometime. All right, I don't think we want to lock any of this stuff, though. Definitely don't want the shells or the broom. Not trying to make a shovel. Way too late for that. Let's jump into battle. Hopefully this carrot edition is going to give us those empowereds that we need to pop off. Nope. Dude's out here stripping our buffs with that amethyst. That's a bummer. All right. Still got the victory, though. GG, go us. All right, so what can we do here? We've got another bag turning up. Sure thing. I'm not opposed to a spear. Like, our weapons do kind of suck at this point. We aren't burning through nearly enough stamina. But I really want to find that whetstone. I really want to find the bag of stones. And so if it was on sale, I would take it. But I want to burn through some rolls here. And hey, it all turned up. Fucking finally, we got the good stuff turning up here. The Goobert, the bag, and the whetstone. The whetstone has to be our number one take on this turn. Getting this hero sword upgraded is of utmost importance. And then next turn we can both activate the steel Goobert. Right, we'll have the hero sword to make the upgrade, and then we'll also have the bag of stones to really pop off here. This was a fantastic round for us. Finally, I deserve it. I deserve it. So what do we got here? This guy's way stronger than us. We're going to get annihilated this round. We got fucking 3 garlics out here to go with his garlic wall, and he already has his hero sword and a tusk poker. Just going to get fucking blasted. RNGesus is certainly blessed old Niles here. GG, friend. All right, so let's see if we can't turn things around now. And so I don't think we ever want Tim. Stealing buffs isn't what we're really trying to do out here. If we, we're kind of close to a Falcon Blade or something, maybe Tim would be interesting, but I just don't think that's where we're at today. We want our bag of stones, we want our Goobert. Can't quite afford this bag, but we are going to want to pick it up later. And so let's get this bag in tip-top shape here real quick. I'm going to want to do something like this, to where the Goobert's coming in and upgrading. It's hitting both of our activators on the left. We can get our bag of stones down here. We're going to have to do another rearrange after this round, but it's okay. Not too bad out here, I don't think. The question is, do we want to put the spiked shield onto the Goobert? We might have to just to get the activations in a reasonable space. Nah, this is fine. We can go without it this round. Probably not super important to get the banana in the mix. I guess that's the other thing we can do is if we want to get the spicy banana on the Goobert, maybe that's the way to go about it. Okay, not terrible. We're getting close. I just worry that our build came together too late. We got here weird collection of shit from this guy. Lots of armors, some vampiric stuff. Bunch of blessings from RNGesus coming about. But much stronger here. The stones working up against the armor round was good. Picked up 1 empowered along the way. Our Goob's about to get the upgrade. Things are looking good there. Now, interesting stuff with this skull badge turning up. I don't really like the skull badge. It's not something that I get super impressed by. The buffs are too random to really matter, and then there's not any Reaper items that we really want. But the big thing with the skull badge is it activates super fast, right? Getting these 1.5 second activations works fantastically with the Gooberts, and so I'm very interested in it. It's not something that I like early, but I'm definitely interested in now. I'm trying to think if there's not anything that we can't like branch out into this with as far as what our build looks like here. Right, let's just look at the item screen real quick. Go to Reaper. Could potentially get a dragon upgrade. We will end up going for pets this game in subclass now that we are going for Gooberts, and so a dragon upgrade is on the table, but not super reliable. Otherwise, this is not really great. Toad does have some good late game options if you're going for clover kind of builds, getting you the clovers and the mana to activate the invulnerable item, but not super important at this point. Nothing else in here really strikes me as what we'd be looking for, and so we're basically just using it as a Goobert activator, and then maybe a deck of cards will turn up, and then we can just sell it a little bit later. But I think it's going to be okay enough now. So we'll take that. We'll take the fanny pack. Let's get to rolling. Kind of interested in the banana, but we really need another weapon at this point. Probably just have to take the spear. And so it's not like super critical, right? The thing that we're going to do is we'll get this bag of stones out here underneath the steel Goobert. So these scaling activations off of the Gooberts are going to hit the stones, and then the stones are going to be doing like 25-30 damage a hit each round. And so this is going to be our big, kind of damage dealer this game, but we still want to be spending as much stamina as we can, and we still need to be getting the activations on the Goobert. And so it's like we don't need to go super hard on finding weapons. Ideally, we would get a thorn whip kind of thing that just wraps around the Goobert, but we still need to not completely give up on weapons this early. So let's see what we can do. We'll put the spear in. Not too worried about the armor shred. We already get tons of armor shred off of these stones, and so that's not critically important there. Let's see. Let's get these activators in here on the Goobert. Looks like that's as good as it's going to get. I was curious if we want to pick up this banana. Not opposed to it, but it's probably not worth a lock at this point. I guess we can do this, right? We at least unintentionally get the get the spear activation on the round. All right, cool. Let's do it. We definitely just hit a power spike. Hopefully we can take down some of these rounds. Very scary. Right? Every time you see the hero longsword, I'm just like, fuck, we're gonna lose this round. It's such a strong weapon. Got a big takedown there though. So let's see if we can see. Right, looking at these stones, they're dealing 4.5 damage per second. It's not that huge at this point, but they are, free attacks every turn. Checking out the opponents, right? His stones are much smaller. your, your stones are so small in comparison to ours. I'm sure there's a great testicular joke in there somewhere. But all right, taking up the Beastmaster, get the big activations on Steel Goobert. That's great. Can definitely take the bag. Little interested in another carrot. It's not crazy to think that we can't start to get more and more empowereds out of these rounds, so let's add that in. It's just not a real critical item for what we need at this point. Bunch of garbage in this shop. Let's take one more roll. Did come across a bag that we'll want. Then I think that we can stop. We'll just go ahead and pick up this health potion because it's on sale. Probably not going to use it, but it was there. Is it just this simple? This is all. This is all we're gonna get is the single activations off the big bowl of treats. All right, fine. I don't think we want to lock any of this other stuff. You see that acorn collar, and your eyes light up thinking about the huge crits that you're gonna hit, and still think it's right on base. All right, the mage coming at us. Let's see what we can do. We're starting to scale up. What was our stones at this time? See, up to 10 deeps. they start to get huge, right? The spear at 6.6, the stones at about 10 deeps, the opponent's weapons at 10 and 12, but his took a lot of work, right? And they also use stamina and stuff, and so very big upgrades we're punching through there. All right, so definitely want the fanny pack. We could probably afford to use another weapon at this point. I'm a little interested in the short bow, as they could switch up into the what's it called? Switch up into the squirrel archers later. But let's continue to roll. It's not a weapon I'm super interested in. Lightsaber, a little bit more interesting than the spear. The thing with the spear, like I keep wanting to make it work, right? I want to make fetch happen out here with the Holy Spear. Like, this is an item that just keeps getting upgraded and upgraded and upgraded patch after patch after patch, and we're most certainly going to be getting the glowing crown at some point. Just you gotta find like the right time and the right place to use it, and this feels like, kind of the time and the place. I could envision us having a thorn bloom wrapping around the hero Goobert, and then the holy spear down at the bottom. But it's like I'm just seeing things that are good now, like the lightsaber, and kind of want to make the switch over. I guess we could just get away from these bows, like sell off the Fortuna's Hope. It's really falling off now that we're not going after the Mega Clover, and so I could definitely see adding in the lightsaber as a way to just have more deeps out here. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll take that path. Let's see, we'll sell off the bow, pick up the lightsaber. We can incidentally activate the lightsaber, right? We do generate some hearts off of the big bowl of treats, and so it's not completely useless out here. So what else do we got? I want to lock in this Cap of Resilience for the next round. We'll pick up this this protective purse. Now, what else can we? How else can we fit these in here? Something like this. I don't hate it. All right, battles begin.
Okay.
So yeah, what are we looking for here? Like, I'm not like amped about the collection of weapons we have here, but again, like, our weapons don't super matter. We're mainly interested in the damage that the stones deal. I do need to pick up a shield, right? We want to have a shield to upgrade the the armors that we get off of the Steel Goobert. Um, but not in a terrible place. I meant to see how much damage the stones were doing that game, but I slid past it. So, okay, interesting set here. I don't think we ever take Power of the Moon. I do really like Power of the Moon. It's exceptionally strong in terms of this big heal that it does. But our build is like pretty far away from getting this super activated, right? We don't have a Thorn Whip to scale up our health to make this a real late game powerhouse. And these other ones are, pretty decent as far as what we're doing. We have Stoned that's going to be active quite a few times with the Steel Goobert generating armors, or there is the shielded, and where we do intend to make a moon shield. I think we probably just take Stoned because this is going to be good now. This is another point to where we have to say, okay, are we going to be playing for the survival rounds, or are we just going to be playing for the +5? And with this, I think we're just playing for the +5, right? We have the Goobert up and running, that's fine, but we don't have like the really high powered essence of the build here, and so I think if we can just get through these rounds without dying, that and get any kind of bonus out of this, then we'll be happy with the outcome. And so let's pick up the Cap of Resilience. I think I'm on board with just selling the Skull Badge at this point. Get that money back. We have plenty of activators for the Steel Goobert at this point. Glowing Crown just turned up to upgrade the Spear. I'll lock it in and try and get that going in the next round. I think we just want to look to find... we want to look to find a bag at this point. We have a lot of quality items in our bag down here that we can't field. A little interested in this Gen Lamp, though. This is very activatable in this style of build. Getting the random... buffs off of the Bowl of Treats, and then also getting the armor gain off of the Steel Goobert. It's a very good deal. I don't think we can just like lock all of this stuff though. So what if we take the Gen Lamp, get this small mana generator here, keep this Glowing Crown locked, and let's take a roll, see what turns up. Alright. Not as spicy as I was hoping it would be. How close can we get here, right? We can, say, like, sell off this short bow, and then probably just sell off the garlic, pick up another bag. Okay, not opposed to that. And then the Gen Lamp does activate pretty quick, right? This is kind of like having that. Well, who is it called? That Reaper item around, and so we can definitely point it towards the lightsaber here and get those activations in. I'm thinking to do like this, right? The lightsaber is a fast activator at 1.5. We can then get the Gen Lamp in there, push these guys up. We gotta be able to manage these bags a little bit better than this, right? This is probably stronger, just pushing the bags up to the top. All right, we're getting there. We're almost there. All right, that's probably good enough. And then we'll keep the Glowing Crown reserved for next round, get the upgrade onto the Spear. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Seems close. Big debuff bro over here with the hammers. It always seems like such a big ask to have both a hammer and a longsword in your build. You just don't get the stamina to activate it all, but RNGesus can bring his blessings to you, huh? Just taking those weighted coin flips. I didn't see if he got any stuns. Let's take a quick peek in here real quick and see if there were stuns coming across. I don't remember if should be on the U side, right? Doesn't quite say. Where's it at? Things. All right, I'm about done looking, but just having that 40% chance to stun or whatever. You just gotta be out there and ready to take it. But all right, let's see. Got our glowing crown. That looks great. Do want to keep the stoned in. We probably just got to drop a carrot to make sure that we can have it. Okay. So we got the lock on the fanny pack. We're not going to have the time to use the thorn whip. Happy enough with our weapons at this point anyways. Let's jump in. See if we can't get those big glowing crown activations in. Why is our stamina so fucked? I guess he does have a shield. We do at least get to keep the stones up and running in these rounds against the shields. Very nice, but the cheeses should be outscaling the stuff that we're doing here. So we're barely hanging on to the end. I was like, how sweet would this be to come in and finish this game off? But very, very rough day, very weak run at the end of the day. But this did cover a lot of the concepts I'd like to talk about with these builds. And so I do want to keep the video up and running. It's like those days back in Expedition. I hated it when people would just like cherry pick the runs that they did. Right, I felt like there was a lot of interesting runs to where you didn't necessarily have a lot of success. And I think that that's kind of what we ran into here. We got really dumpstered on in the early game. We definitely lost hard on a couple of the early rolls and in the early rounds, and then we just had to kind of do the best that we could with the turds that we were given. Right, you got to dig through that turd and find the kernel of corn in there somewhere. And I'm pretty happy with how this build turned out at the end of the day. This is one of the powerful things that you'll see assembled. Right, we're going to have these stones getting activated by the steel goobert, but the rest of the build just didn't really happen, right? You're not out here trying to run with spears and lightsabers. You really want to find a thorn whip. We didn't see a thorn whip until the literal last round there. You can ideally wrap the thorn whip around the steel goobert so that it gets the activation on the left, but then it also gets the weapon bonus at the top. Very powerful angle that you can have there. And then once you get the steel goobert up and running, you don't have to devote a ton of your build to attack-based stuff, right? You have the stones, you have that thorn whip, you have some kind of incidental on-hit weapon running with the goobert as well. And then after that, you could just go like all foods, pets, and defensives. And so it should turn into a very nice scaling type of build. But we kind of ran into this shit show to where the early game was bad. We're out here with this very heavy investment in weapons that aren't the weapons that we want, and we don't get to really take advantage of the big bowl of treats, right? Our food out here kind of sucks. We didn't get any of the incidental pets. There were no squirrels turning up to get bonuses off of the big bowl of treats. And so it was definitely a low roll in terms of what we saw through the course of a lot of the game. But I think we still went for the correct build here. There's nothing within this game that indicated we should be going towards thorns. There's nothing that indicated that we should be going towards a hero longsword build like an OTK build. There was nothing indicating we should go towards a big kind of clover build. Like I think that we landed in the right place. We just didn't really find a good collection of items to run with it. It's just one of those low rolls of a game to where you have to try your best to not lose a ton of LP. But at the end of the day, like I'm glad that we did get to showcase the steel goobert. This is something that I've been pursuing quite a bit in a lot of our games, as we do tend to go for hero swords pretty much every single game. And then if you don't get that hero sword upgraded to a falcon blade or upgraded to a hero longsword, you're probably going to be pivoting over to the goobert, which is completely fine. But I do like to call out with the goobert, if you're going for this route, you ideally want to be finding a thorn bloom. We mentioned that, and then you need some kind of free attacker to be scaling up with these weapon activations. Ideally, it's going to be the stones, but a dragon would have been nice as well, right? If we had a dragon up here getting the double activations off of the big bowl of treats, and then also getting the weapon scaling off of the steel goobert, it's a big, big, big damage dealer. But we didn't have any dragon eggs turn up this game either. Kind of story of our lives. But nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Weed. Thank you for being here.